Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm Marjorie Brad. I'm here with Brandon Wilcox, and we're here for this class on the fundamentals of seeing energy. It's really a big joy for us to get to share this. We've been working with these tools for several years now, and I see some familiar faces. Some of you have some experience with this intuitive psychic tool. Some of you don't. But it is really interesting how simple it is to do energy work. We might think that it is um, something that um, you have to be like born with, like a gift or something like that. That it's beyond our natural abilities, but the truth is that we all are born with the ability to see energy. So
Mhm.
for some of you, that might come easy, and you might be like, "Yep, I already know how to." And for some of you, it might not. But that's what we're here for. We're gonna talk about it, and we're going to get to play a little bit with energy as well. So I'm gonna pass it on to Brandon just to introduce yourself a little bit and talk about
Sure.
what we're gonna do. I think as other people, I see a lot of people joining too.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Marjorie, for starting us off there. That's exactly what I was going to start off with, too. A lot of people think that seeing energy is something that only certain people are born with. You either have it or you don't have it, but it's actually your spiritual birthright. Everybody has the ability to see energy, right? And so we're not necessarily teaching you something new, but teaching you how to kind of activate a muscle to wake up an energy center within you where you naturally see energy. And so this class, right, it's called The Basics of How to See Energy. And that might sound like kind of a tall order for a 1 hour class, but we're going to show you the fundamentals of how to tap in, how to start looking at stuff. And then from there, you get to practice using that intuitive muscle, practice using it to see energy, to perceive the world around you. And then, of course, we teach a course that starts in March that's all about this, where we go deeper into it and practice it for many weeks, right? And so when we talk about seeing energy, what is it that we're talking about, right? Everything is energy in one form or another. Some spiritual schools would even say that everything is one energy, just vibrating at different frequencies. And so when we start to see energy, we start to see what those different frequencies are, what they look like. That might start to look like colors. You might start to see some colors or a hue around somebody, or you might imagine some images in your mind. Might get sort of an epiphany, something that's coming through. There's a lot of different ways in which that perception can be received. And so that's what we're going to play with and practice a little bit tonight to see what's your unique way of perceiving or receiving that information while you're seeing energy, being intuitive, right? And so some of the energies that you might see is you might see spiritual energy, the energy that comes into the body and animates everything. It gives life to everything. Another energy that's maybe commonly talked about is chi, kind of that energy that's life force that flows through the body. Some people use those interchangeably, and some people use them to mean different things. Another common energy we might look at and practice seeing a little bit tonight is the energy of chakras, the energy centers that are in the body that vibrate and send out a certain energy. It creates a certain level of your experience of life, right? And so that's one form of energy we might look at. And then there's the aura, the energy field that's around somebody, right? You've maybe heard of it before, maybe seen a glimpse of it here and there. So we'll start to look at that type of energy. But like I was saying, everything is energy. So there's also thought energy, there's emotional energy, there's all sorts of different stuff that you can see. And as you learn to open your eyes and see this energy, you understand the world around you more and your place in it. It starts to make a little bit more sense, right? And so, one of the first steps in being able to see energy is finding where do you do that from? Do you see energy from your gut? Do you see it from your feelings? Do you see energy from your body, from the physical? No, you see energy from the third eye, from the sixth chakra. That's where you have an energy center that helps you to perceive energy. You might have heard it called the third eye before. And so that's what I talk about when I'm saying there's a muscle that we can start to wake up and activate, get out of atrophy, and use it to be able to perceive energies again. Um, and then once you start to see those energies, see the colors or symbols, whatever shows up, you can start to learn to interpret that energy, right? To kind of understand what it means. You might go through your life and you have some experience where all of a sudden you feel, kind of stressed or kind of anxious and you don't really know why. You're just like, oh, there's this really heavy feeling today. Well, the beauty of being able to see energy is you can look and see what is that? Oh, that energy is purple and it's really heavy around my shoulders. Oh, that energy is coming from my friend. I'm feeling their sadness right now, right? Or, oh, I'm seeing this image of a memory that's processing through me, and that's what's causing that, rather than just being unconscious to it, just being the effect of all this energy moving, you get to start to see it. And when you see what this other energy is that's all around you, you also get to see more of who you are because you're no longer identifying with all this whirlwind of chaos. You recognize it as something other than you. So you start to perceive more of who you are, start to take a step towards freedom, right? And so, last thing I'll say, and then I promise we'll meditate and have some fun. I'm sure you don't want to hear me talk all night. But the last part is sometimes when you first start to see energy, it feels like you're imagining it. Some people might take that as thinking they're making it up, not totally trust it because they haven't gotten feedback yet. They don't know if it's right or wrong. Well, we use our ability to imagine to see energy. So it's not that you're making it up, it's just that it's using kind of the same center in your brain. To perceive that energy, right? And so as you start to look at energy, you might be able to then speak to it and get some validation from somebody else, or maybe you just notice it. Maybe you notice that feeling I was describing of heaviness. You feel like your friend's sad, and then you go talk to them later that day, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I am really sad." And you're like, "Oh, okay, this is working." And you start to go, "Okay, I'm not just making it up. I'm actually perceiving something that's here." And so, with practice, a little bit by bit throughout your life, you start to trust it more. You start to have more certainty in what you're seeing. And then that third eye opens up more and more that I was talking about, right? And so that can create healing, can create deeper understanding, even miracles. Um, so hopefully that gets you a little bit excited about it. Marjorie, did you want to add anything just to talking about seeing energy before we jump into the meditation?
Thank you, Brendan. Just wanted to add a little bit about what you were saying at the end, that ability that we all have to see energy. And sometimes we might think like, am I going crazy? This person is really happy in front of me, but I feel so sad when I'm with them. And it might be that they are really sad and you're just perceiving that. And they might not be ready to share. They might not be have the permission to be vulnerable enough, but you're picking up on that energy, and that can be really confusing. So, learning to discern when something is yours by realizing, by realizing that you're seeing that energy and that it is true, that you're picking up on something that it's real. It's so it's a big relief, and also it can be really validating, and it takes you to a new place of understanding your own emotions. Because many times when we're really sensitive and we can see the energy of what's happening around us, but we don't know really what's going on, we confuse it as something that is ours. So we might be with this person and it's like, why am I feeling so sad? Why is it that all of a sudden I was fine this morning? What's wrong with me? We start being so hard on ourselves and judging ourselves and just trying to figure it out. But when we're able to just realize that, oh, I'm looking at this energy and it's like, wow, maybe my friend is sad. Um, and I've had this like all of my life, I've been experiencing this, and it just got easier, right, to recognize it and being able to realize like, oh, this is not me. I'm not angry all of a sudden. This person that I was just talking to, it's having some emotions come up, and okay, they need to process it, but I don't have to do anything about it, and I can just move on, and with compassion, and I'm giving the person space and permission to have their own emotions, right? So we don't create unconscious agreements and energetic entanglements that are going to later on create karma in our lives. So, and with that also, it helps us learning to see energy clearly. It also helps us be able to tell apart reality from illusion. And I think that is so valuable because, as Brandon was saying, imagination, right? We use our imagination for everything. Everything that's being created has been first imagined, everything in the world. So sometimes we create these mental image pictures that we of things that we want to experience in our life, or it would be so great to do this, or to have this, or to experience this. And when we learn how to tell the difference between an illusion and something that it's really meant for us, then we can actually ground it and we can make it happen. And that's something else that's really valuable about seeing energy. So that was it, Brandon. I'm gonna pass it on to you so you can guide us in a meditation.
Sounds good. Thank you, Marjorie.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. So for this meditation, you can sit upright, kind of upright in a chair. And if you can have your feet flat on the floor, that would be amazing. If you don't have a chair to sit in and you're sitting on the floor, just kind of bend your knees so your feet are flat in somewhat of an upright position. Don't really want to be laying down for this one. And go ahead and start to relax into your body. You can go ahead and close your eyes and give yourself a nice deep breath in and a nice easy exhale out. And just give yourself a few breaths of that nature. When you start to look at energy, you want to look at energy in the present moment, in the here and now, and you want to be in your body. You don't want to be scattered all over the place, thinking about what's coming up next or what you just ate or anything like that. You want to be right here in the body, centered. And so just find yourself, get a sense of where you land in the body. You might even get a sense of what energy is already around you. If there's anything that is sort of moving through your mind. Sometimes, as you go to a new class to get new information, there can be energies that stir within you. Sometimes they're the energies that you're about to release in order to take a next step forward on your life path. And so, like we were saying, everyone's born with the ability to see energy. You're seeing it when you're a baby, when you're little. And then through the conditioning of the world says, just look at the physical, just look at these bodies, what's going on here. You kind of get taught to close that third eye, to not see those energies as much. And so some of that conditioning might be stirring around within you right now. And you might not recognize it as that. It might just be some self doubt. It might be where you're falling asleep or going a little unconscious, or where there's some thoughts or feelings of, I don't know if I can do this. Is this really going to work? Any sort of stuff like that that's stirring around. That's good. That means it's coming out. It means you're getting ready to take a next step. So just welcome it. Don't push it away. Just say hello to it in your own way. And then imagine that you could collect up your energy from wherever it is in your body and let it float up to that space behind your eyes and in between your ears, almost like there's a little ball of light that can float right into that space in the center of your head. And this center of head isn't just the center of your physical head, but rather it's the center of you as a being. It's the center of all things. It's more that spiritual center that you're finding there. So as you take that step, you're pulling some of your energy away from thinking of yourself just as a physical form, just as a body, and you're pulling your attention, your awareness into that which is spirit, that which perceives energy. And so as you allow yourself to find your way to the center of your head, you can start to turn on your clairvoyant abilities, your abilities to see energy by imagining an open scenery all around you. Like you're stepping into your favorite internal landscape. Could just be a beautiful room, or it could be a landscape out in nature. And make sure it's just you in that landscape. No animals, no people, just you. Letting this be your spiritual sanctuary. And as you set up that energetic space for yourself, you're starting to bring energy into your third eye or into the sixth chakra, the energy center through which you can see energy, you can perceive from. Yeah. It's a little bit of a easier place to see energy from than say your emotional center. If you're, feeling the whole world's energy, it might get a little confusing to tell what's yours, what's clear, what messages are passing through the body. But as you sit in this seat in the center of your head, it's like getting above the clouds, being able to see the full picture. You're a little further away from the noise. And some people feel a great deal of peace just from being right here in the center of their head. Almost gives them permission to be the witness of life, witness of the thoughts, the emotions, the energies passing by. And so, even if you've learned this tool before, you can always go deeper with it. And at its true depth, it's really a master's tool. You're the witness, free to see. Yeah. And so, let's take another step further, using your imaginative abilities to command or move energy. And this time, I'd like you to imagine a giant tree trunk or tube of energy, could be made of any material you want, but see it connected to your hips, almost as if it's seatbelted on or ziplocked around your hips. And let that tube of energy or tree trunk just fall straight down to the center of the planet, almost as if a big cruise ship anchor is just pulling it down. No effort on your part. You don't have to follow it. You don't have to make that long journey to the center of the planet with it. And it might be a long journey, but it can be a quick journey to connect that up energetically. Let that connect and let that be a grounding cord for you. Let that be a tube of energy that connects you to the earth, that helps your spiritual energy to ground into the body, into the third eye, the center of head, while simultaneously giving you a place to release from, to let go of energy. If there's any tension or worry, you can just imagine that it falls right off your body, kind of like the crumbs on a cookie falling away, right down that grounding cord. Let it go. And again, even if you've learned this tool before, don't see it as rudimentary or something you already know. It's a practice. It's not something to learn once or do once. It's something to practice daily. Over 10 years later of me grounding, there's still more that I get to learn and discover through it. If you're really truly grounded and in the center of your head, you'd be far more advanced than most of the beings on the planet. Most people are popping out of their bodies and jumping all around, running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Yeah. And then find yourself back in the center of your head if you followed that grounding cord, if you started to move towards it. And from the center of your head, I want you to imagine that there's an energy field around you, kind of like an aura. Imagine that there's different colors that move through that aura. You might see that as little wavelengths of energy kind of vibrating out around your body, as if a kid had a picture of you and they took some colored crayons and decided to color some circles around your body. Take a look and see what colors surround you, knowing that colors aren't just colors, but they're also a frequency, an energy. And just allow that information to be there for yourself, however you experience it. Some people might see bright, vivid colors. Some people might just get more of a knowingness sense of what those colors are or a feeling sense. However you perceive is just fine, even if you feel like you're imagining it or making it up. And pick one of those colors, maybe the main one that you're aware of, and ask it what quality does it come with. Maybe you see like a deep ocean blue around you, and the quality that you associate that is like very calming, peaceful. Or maybe you see a yellow around you, and that makes you think of like a buzzing bee, an energy that's energetic, vibrant, alive. So just see what energy you associate with that color. There's no right answer. There's no this color means this or that. You're just getting an impression here. And keep in mind that when you're seeing energy, you're receiving information. You're not grabbing at it, you're not forcing it, trying to make something happen. You're just letting it be there. Perceive that aura painting around you. Yeah. And after you've assigned a quality to it, you can ask it with your own intention. Is this energy my energy? One that I'm emanating from my body? One that works for me? Or is this somebody else's energy? An energy that got stuck in there from the day, from an environment you were in, from another person you were in? You might become aware of some colors, some energies around you that very much are your energy, an expression of who you are. And you might notice some colors that maybe look a little bit darker or a little more foggy. Maybe they have a different quality to them. And maybe those are the energies that aren't yours, the ones that are foreign to you. If it's not your energy, it's not going to work well in your body, in your space. And that's okay. If you encounter one that feels like it isn't your energy, ask it to release down that grounding cord that you set up. Almost like you see those colors drawn around you, and you can kind of grab one and throw it right down that grounding cord if it doesn't suit you, if it's not yours. The earth will gladly recycle that energy, make it into something useful. It's no problem. And so that might be the basics of how you could start to perceive an aura. We'll try it in one other way. Imagine that there's a friend of yours standing out in front of you, as if they're sitting in front of you in a chair, just their body for now. And then ask from the center of your head to see a color or two that might be outlining their body. Again, if there was a kid that came by with some crayons or some paint and drew some energy around them. That's the cool thing about seeing energy is it can be fun, it can be silly, because it gets you out of your head. You're not thinking about it anymore. You're perceiving it. So the more fun you can have with it, the lighter it can be, the more that it works. You're in your intuitive mind. That's why I'm giving you a silly way to picture it. It doesn't work better if you're really serious about it. Ooh, I'm some big shot seeing energy now. Okay. Nah, that'll just make it harder. And so, yeah, do the same thing. See what energy's there around that friend of yours that you're imagining and get a sense of if there's a quality to that color. Even if it's a similar color to what you saw around you, it might have a different quality to it. It might feel like something else. There's no right answer there. You might even get an image in your mind as to what that color means. Hmm. And same thing for them as it was with you. You might see if there's a color in there that's really their expression of their themselves, how they are right now. And if there's maybe a color that's in there that's not theirs, not their truth. It's something else. And whether you're looking at yourself or someone else, you're looking at this energy right here, right now, in present time. That aura is not going to be the same color all the time because you're not going to be the same all the time. You grow and change and express different things through your life, right? So you're just seeing a snapshot, what's going on right here, right now. And then go ahead and let that image of that person go. almost as if it can just disappear, float away. You click the fade out button and it's gone. And then I want us to just try one more way of looking at energy. I want you to feel or notice what part of the body do you tend to hang out in the most? That might be a really weird question, right? Just like doctors ask you weird questions that should be really easy answers, but you're like, oh, I never thought about it. Never thought to consider. Uh, this is kind of one of those questions. If you were to ask and ask it intuitively, that's what we're practicing here. You could even let your hand be guided, maybe to place upon your body where you spend the most time. Where is most of your energy residing in your body when you're out there in the world? That hand might be guided to your solar plexus. Or maybe you see that light that we had be in the center of the head. Maybe you see that light in the heart or in the throat. Just pick one that you seem to hang out in the most and recognize that there might be an energy center there. There might be a chakra that's emanating a certain energy, certain level of life force, which again, we'll get into all of this much deeper in the training, the full course, but this is a good start to look at it. So imagine that you could see that energy of the spot that you hang out in the most. Maybe it just kind of looks like a swirl of color, a swirl of energy. Maybe it's kind of like looking into a kaleidoscope. Hmm. And if you find that it's really hard to see anything, you just feel like you're staring at the back of your eyelids, that's okay. That's part of the steps of training yourself to not see with your physical eyes, but to see with your spiritual eye. Yeah. And so again, just perceive it how you perceive it. There's no right way. Might be a visually clear array of colors. It might be a very blurry, dull color or two. You might just feel like you're making it up, staring at the back of your eyelids. That's okay. You're taking a step forward. Whatever feelings or thoughts come up as you look at this energy, just let them arise and let them pass. You're moving it out. It's going down the grounding cord. Yeah. And if you sort of followed whatever you were looking at, let's say you were looking at your solar plexus, if you find that you're kind of in your solar plexus now, go ahead and intend to come back to the center of your head, back behind your eyes and in between your ears. You want to stay there, even if you're looking at something that's somewhere else. That'll help you to see the energy clearly without falling into the experience, without becoming it. That's one of the biggest things that you start to develop as you practice this more regularly. You know, out there in the world, we see something and we fall into it. We kind of become it. We see an argument going on and we kind of fall into that argument energy or our fear resistance to that argument. Part of seeing energy is being able to view something without having a reaction, without falling into it. Uh, That's where you get a lot of your personal freedom back. Yeah. And so again, you don't see more from trying. Trying is just a body function. You see more from allowing yourself to perceive what's there. And so go ahead and stop seeing that chakra. Can let that imagery go. Come back to your center of head space, back to your grounding cord, and stay in meditation while I gently pass the mic to Marjorie to finish us off here.
Thank you, Brendan. And you can remain just connected to your body, connected to your breath. Notice that maybe the body's not used to sitting down with eyes closed for so long. So notice if there's any tension around your jaw, your shoulders. Open your mouth or move your shoulders, wiggle a little bit, and keep your eyes closed. But just to give the body that recognition that sometimes when we do something that's new, especially something that practically we don't really have to do anything, but the body's used to doing things, right? So just giving the body a little hello. You can take a deep breath and sigh out, make some noise. And put your attention back right on that third eye, that space between your eyebrows where you can see energy from. What we do when we learn to see energy, it's separate from our other psychic abilities, feeling energy, hearing energy, or just knowing stuff. And when we're able to just see the energy, then it's a lot easier to understand what that energy is trying to tell us, what it means, if it has a message for us, if it's just something that we're seeing and it doesn't have anything to do with us. So, the most important um, thing that we have to practice when we want to learn how to see energy is being neutral. But this neutrality happens as a spirit, is a spiritual ability. Our bodies cannot be neutral. Our bodies are always sensing and perceiving what's around us. But by learning and practicing to have our attention in that space of the third eye, we can actually learn how to be neutral and learn how to look at things from a space of innocence and curiosity without having to control it, without making a plan for what I'm going to see, just allowing it to happen. As Brandon was saying earlier, we don't see energy by trying, just by allowing it to happen. And then when we're able to be neutral, which takes practice, we're just introducing the concept here if you've never thought about it before. When you're able to be neutral, you become the observer of your own experience and the observer, the conscious observer of the energy that you are perceiving. And that's how we start getting our answers, through looking at energy. That's where how we're able to really interpret the energy that we perceive. So I want you to picture in front of you a soap bubble. A soap bubble like the ones that we blow when we're kids. Just a clear soap bubble that's going to be like your canvas for this exercise. And I want you to think of one area of your life. It could be something simple. It could be um, your relationship to rest. It could be your relationship to animals or to your job. And I want you to let an image, a color, something fill that soap bubble. That it's going to give you some information about that particular area in your life. So the way that we teach people how to see energy, we call it psychic kindergarten. We don't take ourselves very seriously. It can be as simple as, oh, I'm seeing the color blue. Wow. And you just look at that color and just let it give you what it needs to give you. It might be a specific picture like, oh, I saw my dog when I was a kid. I saw myself eating a broccoli. It can be something that doesn't make sense maybe at the moment. And maybe you're not seeing anything, maybe just a little hazy. Let it be okay. Because we do have to do some cleaning sometimes on our 6 chakras to learn to see energy and to turn down the volume of our minds. Our minds are like, what are we doing here? What's going on? This is weird. So let yourself just play with this and notice what you see in that soap bubble. And whenever you see whatever you see with no judgment, you can watch it pop. It just pops and it goes away. And take a deep breath. And as you exhale, let yourself release down that grounding cord that you created with Brandon earlier. Anything that got activated, any effort, any confusion. Because our bodies cannot be neutral, the images that we show our bodies, the body, the brain also perceives them as real. So when we create a mental image picture, and when we start working the energy around our bodies, our auras, we create a relationship that is very strong between our mind, our bodies, and our spirit. We can get to a new level of embodiment, which allows us to create self-healing and also to really understand how our own energy feels. Our own energy, it's our own juice, it's our own gas, it's what really works for us. And sometimes we're just giving our energy away without realizing it throughout the day. And then we feel tired, confused, or invalidated. So when we learn how to ground and we release whatever's not ours, that's a level of self-healing already, of releasing what doesn't serve us, any energy that can get us stuck emotionally, mentally, or even physically. And when we release, then we have to replenish, of course. But we're going to replenish with our own energy. So I invite you to create a picture of a big golden sun on top of your head. And just decide that this golden sun represents your own original essence, the one that you came into this body with in this lifetime. It has a unique vibration. It works just for you. So just picture that golden sun on top of your head. It's big and bright, as big as you want it. And when it's really bright and radiant, you can grab your hands and just rub the palms of your hands together, activating those hand chakras. And I want you to bring your arms up and grab that golden sun. Grab it. Just picture it like a physical thing on top of your head. Just feel that energy of your own essence inside your golden sun and bring it in. Just pull your arms down as you replenish with this energy. Watch it come into your head, filling in all of your head and the back of your head, your face, your neck, your chest, your back. It fills in your whole nervous system. It's limitless. So it keeps coming in as it fills in your whole body, going into your cells like liquid gold, going all the way into your toes. Kitty cats love golden suns. Mm. And then you can picture that golden energy coming out of your pores and filling in the aura around you, your energetic space, which is what like our first contact to the world. We have it through our auras. So we want that space to be grounded. It makes us feel safer when our auras have our energy in them. So just picture yourself golden from head to toe, sitting in this golden egg that represents your aura. Gold on top of you, below you, on each side of you, in front of you, behind you. And just notice, be witness of how your own energy feels. If you want a little bit more of that gold, bring another one. Filling all of your chakras, all of your organs, all of your bones, your muscles. It's a beautiful act of self-love to give yourself a golden sun. So with practical tools of visualization, you can create healing for your body, alignment between your mind, body, and spirit. You can also get some answers for yourself. I want you to take another deep breath. You can put your hands on your heart and let's just concentrate a little bit of that golden sun on the heart space. That fourth chakra, which is where our like physical body and the spiritual body meet. That place of affinity. And when you're all filled in with your golden essence, you can open your eyes. Just notice how your body feels now. Notice if you need to stretch maybe or drink some water. Something that it's important to bring up about this type of meditation that we teach is that it's meditation in the body. We actually create space in the body for our spirit to come down. And it's really interesting to see people's eyes. I'm always amazed when we meet for a meditation and I see people's eyes before we meditate and then after. And you can see the presence, the shift in presence. And that is fascinating and something you never get over. You know, it's like this is so cool to see. I see it in my own experience. Sometimes I do it on purpose. I'm like, I'm going to meditate, but first I'm going to see myself in the mirror. And it's like, whoa, okay, I'm floating somewhere. And then I'll sit down and ground and get into my space and run some cosmic and earth energy and use other of the practical tools that we teach in the intuitive training program. And then I see myself in the mirror again. And it's like, okay, I landed. Um, and it's just fun um, to be able to relate to a spiritual practice from a place of curiosity and like a kid coming to have an experience for the first time because it's never the same. Even though we use the tools, the same tools over and over, the experience, it always changes. So, um, as you know, we're teaching this class because we'll be starting the Intuitive
Mhm.
Training Masters program very soon in March. And we just wanted to um, share a little bit of what we do. And oh, here we go. I think Brandon already shared all of some of the information about it and the link, but also I would love to open it up for some questions, or even if you want to share your experience with the meditation that we just did, that's of course um, an option as well. So you can raise your hand if you have a question. You can ask it on the chat, whatever you would rather do. And the intuitive training program, it's a whole year if you want to learn how to do readings, how to do intuitive readings professionally. Many people do this for themselves. When I started doing this work uh, in 2000, well, 20 years ago, it was 2004. I took my first class in Hawaii, where I used to live. And every week, I've said this 100 times, but I love telling this story. Every week, I would go to this class and be like, what am I doing here? This is so stupid. I was so serious and I really didn't understand what I was doing there. But every time I left the class, I felt so much better. I was just like, wow, oh, something shifted. All right. And the next week, I would come back and I would be the same, so much resistance. But the resistance was to creating movement, you know, in the stagnant, emotional and energetic space that I was in. That's why I was in so much resistance, because when you start moving things around, releasing and seeing energy clearly, I mean, things are going to start changing. And they you start realizing things, you start noticing patterns in your life, you start noticing the way that you actually relate to yourself, you start noticing the unconscious things, habits maybe, or the way that you relate to other people that are not necessarily healthy for you, or that are leaks of energy. And then you start putting yourself first, which is a byproduct of seeing energy. And it's a good one. Um, so um, it's a whole year, the program. That's where I was going. And I went on a side trip. But you can also just take level one, for example, right? And that's where you learn all of the tools that you use for the rest of the program. And of course, you keep learning other things, but all of the basic tools to learn how to see energy and to really, um, it's so many more things, you know, other than seeing energy. They take you to see energy, but also you learn how to create better boundaries. You learn how to realize, oh, what's this emotion? Is this mine or not? You learn how to become more certain by recognizing the energy of your own certainty and creating a level of seniority in your life that allows you to um, to put yourself first, as I was saying earlier, but also there are other great tools like learning how to set energy in places. It can be your bedroom, it's like, oh, I don't sleep very well. What happens if you set the energy in the bedroom that you're in? It might help you a lot. Um, what happens when you have a problem? And you see the energy of this problem and maybe realize, oh, is this even my problem? Might not be yours. And so many other tools. So it's a big trip that it's a big journey, I would say, that we go into just by using tools that are um, based on visualization that um, create movement in your energetic space, release, and also the ability to connect to your own truth and bring in your own information and your own answers. And one of the best parts of it is you get to be part of a cool community. We just had our first retreat for Energy Matters Academy last November, and it was in Boulder, Colorado, and we had so much fun. I see a few faces that were there.
Mhm.
And we really had a blast. And we're going back again this October, but at the end of Halloween, actually, I think. So
Yeah.
we get to dress up
Mhm.
this year. Yeah, so class is going to be on Tuesday evenings, I think at 6, right? 6 Mountain Time,
Yeah,
8 p.m.
5 to 7
Eastern.
Pacific,
Mhm,
6 to 8 Mountain. Yeah.
correct. Um, af- Not also you get a live class every week, which is not very many programs have live classes nowadays. Everything's recorded. So
Yeah.
it's great to have live classes. And also you get a practicum space, which is another hour a week where you come to practice the tools that you've learned. And that is in level one, it's a preparation to then in the rest of the levels practice in our reading spaces. The reading spaces are our spaces where we teach people how to read, basically. And we have people who come from all walks of life to receive readings. So it is a wonderful energy lab. Um, we have different spaces available throughout the week as well.
Yeah.
Any questions, anybody? I'm saying a lot of information. Hope I'm not confusing you. But it is great to be able to share this. Brandon, anything I'm forgetting?
No,
Anything?
not anything you're forgetting. I would just maybe summarize that a little bit by saying what Marjorie's speaking to with the live classes and practicums is that we teach a very experiential course. It's not just theoretical, where we teach you some stuff that you can mentally grasp and then good luck. No, you get to practice it in class, learn it experientially, and then have a safe space to actually practice using that. That way it can really simply integrate into your life. That way, you don't just have these spiritual tools for when you're in meditation, when you're in class, but you get to take them with you into the rest of your life. And level one that we're offering, that she was talking about, what you learn in level one is what I use every single day to do energy hygiene, auric hygiene, to just be okay. That's all included in level one. Literally use it every day. So if that's as far as your journey takes you, amazing. You have really simple but powerful tools that you get to carry with you your whole life and use and take deeper and deeper and deeper. And if you feel called to take a next step and continue further in the year, then you just get to go deeper and deeper with the learning, with being able to read others, heal others, learn all sorts of cool advanced spiritual techniques. And it just gets more and more fun the more you go. But even in level one, it's such a great foundation. Yeah. If anyone has questions or comments, you can hit the reaction button to raise your hand. Or if you're on camera, you can raise your physical hand and I'll try to find you. Well, Marjorie did a good job explaining it then.
I have a question.
Okay, go for it.
What's gonna be the price for the course?
That kind of stuff you can find online. I posted the link in the chat, and so you can see all the
Okay,
pricing information there. If you click on that first link that I posted, yeah, it'll take you to the sales page.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. It's got a question in the chat. Would this class be a good first step towards honing my very undisciplined ability to see in my dreams? Yeah, it can absolutely help with that. Um, I know when I started doing this work, I started remembering more and more of my dreams, and they became more and more vivid. And even to this day, I've done pretty extensive like astral traveling, lucid dreaming, and still, if I don't practice these tools before I go to bed, then it's really hard for me. It's just kind of foggy there, and I'll maybe retain a dream or two. But when I meditate and use these psychic tools and then go to sleep, I can like really navigate my dreams with a lot more clarity. There is even a specific class on it if you make it to level 4. Uh, so yes, it could help with that for sure. Fun question. Yeah, anyone else? Going once, going twice. Alrighty.
One more question. The class will be recorded for us to review it. We can
Yeah,
attend in that day.
yeah, absolutely. If you can't make it live, if you're in a different time zone or just have to miss one or two, you're not just, out of the program. They're all recorded. So you'll get those recordings. You can re-listen to them as much as you want and yeah, catch up if you have to miss one. That's always available. Yeah, absolutely. Got a comment that was so lovely. Thank you. Oh, glad you thought so. Thanks for being here. Yeah, it's nice to see all of you. Even though some of you are hiding from being on camera, we still get to see your auras, right? What we just practiced. Get
That's
to see that
right.
energy shining back at us. Um, all right. Well, I think we're good to wrap up there, unless Marjorie, you have anything else?
No, I just want to say thank you, everybody, so much for coming today, for having the curiosity to explore this topic and to show up for that curiosity that your spirit has. There might be something there, that you need to pay attention to. So either with us or if your journey takes you somewhere else, we do hope to see you, but it's totally fine. And we'll be also having a psychic fair soon, next month. So keep an eye out for that. Those are really fun, and you can come and get a small, like 15-minute reading, and also get to experience from the other side, if you've never had a reading, what we're talking about when we talk about
Mhm.
seeing energy. So those readings will be done by students or by graduates from the program. And it's just really fun to come and get a hello to your spirit, spiritual hello. So keep an eye out for that. You should be receiving the recording of this class as well. So you can repeat the meditation if you want to. And if you have any questions, just send us an email and we'll get back to you. Hope to see you later, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you so much.
See
Thank
ya.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.